Hi, everybody. I wanted to go live today, pop on and say hi and answer any questions you have going on right now as we are very quickly evolving as a human consciousness. In 2025, we are really met with so much inspiration for change. And I know that the rug has been pulled out from many of us, most of us, in many different ways. So we're coming out of what we have known as global grief because we've experienced so much loss of life, loss of job, loss of stability, loss of knowing what is normal in our world because so many truths are being exposed. So many things that were hidden are coming to the surface. So it's a time of very radical, quick evolution for mankind. And it's kind of blowing our world as we knew it apart. So we are coming out of global grief. And one of the things that we experience simultaneously with that is spiritual attack. Spiritual attack, it comes in as a negative force, but is meant to awaken us spiritually. I've talked about this for a very long time now about how we as physical beings are moving into the next higher state of consciousness, which is truly embracing our spiritual nature. And through that, understanding that the things that are unseen around us, they are real and they are just like us. So moving our state of physicality up into a level of spirituality, frequency and vibrational wise, helps us to align with what our next phase of human evolution is. So when I teach people about leaving the heaviness and the baggage and the um, aloneness and the frustration and the disappointment of grief, one of the ways I do this is to help them reach into higher frequencies to actually grab a hold of their afterlife connection with their loved ones. The very act of doing this helps them raise their frequency higher. Where we're taught to stay in grief forever, we're taught that we will always feel this terrible, lonely way after losing a loved one. The heaviness of grief impacts our physical body. It actually makes you sick. So, again, I'm not saying not to grieve, but knowing how to grieve and how to navigate grief in a spiritual way to deal with and process your spiritual wounds so that you can reach for higher vibrations. This is the new way that we're dealing with and healing our grief. And it totally aligns with you connecting with your loved one in the afterlife and helps you to integrate and stay in alignment with your higher self, your true spiritual nature. So, this is what I teach my clients that are dealing with grief, all of you that are still feeling the loss of a loved one and suffering with that loss. I have some programs for you. Of course, you can reach out to me for a private session and I can help you lift that grief. I can help you connect with your loved one. But I also have an amazing new app called Grief Ease that takes you through 9 spiritual lessons to help you dig into your spiritual wounds and heal them. And this is something that just regular mainstream therapy cannot help you with because they don't understand the spiritual components to your healing. So when it comes to healing grief, this is a spiritual wound. It's not just that you miss them. You're actually feeling disconnected spiritually from them. So Grief Ease will help you to navigate this, to learn how to really honor your connection with your loved one, to know that it's eternal, and also to value your own process of still being physical, even though your loved one is now spiritual. So do check out Grief Ease. The other way that I've been helping the collective is to educate about spiritual attack and to really empower people to wake up to their spiritual potential, which means activating their spiritual gifts and abilities. So when we are met with things that are unseen, when we're waking up at 3 a.m., when we're being touched, when we're being watched, when we're having mood swings, when we're having an increase of anxiety, fear, or different types of addictions, you are under spiritual attack. And you must recognize that this is real. This isn't just a mood. This isn't just a phase you're going through, but there are real spiritual entities that actually thrive on us not connecting spiritually. In fact, I've even seen little critters. I often talk about this in my spiritual warrior training. Sometimes I see the little critters just laying right here on top of your head, blocking your God cord so that you cannot get light in your body. And this can impact you on so many levels, just creating so much disease and disorder, depression, you name it. They're there to block your light. So everything about the next level of human evolution is about you truly embracing your spiritual nature, understanding how to work your physical body with your spiritual energy to make sure that you're actually getting enough light into your body and making sure that your body is able to hold the light so that it's not seeping out through resentments and old wounds and things that the collective has kind of made normal. They put you in different groups and tell you to stay there. That's kind of like what that's just your program. That's the way your brain has been programmed. You may have inherited it genetically. You may have been programmed through your schools and churches and family and community. But when you wake up to that, when you wake up to it, you can truly honor everything you've been through in life, even the losses that you've experienced, because if you understand them from a spiritual nature, you're still connected. You can honor who you are and what you came here to do. So I teach people how to truly empower themselves spiritually, to learn how to use our spiritual gifts as a human vessel. Like, how do we reclaim that? When we die and we move into the spiritual world, we naturally have all of our spiritual gifts back. But how do we claim those gifts to manifest, to heal, to connect with our ancestors, to be able to clear our spiritual energy, to protect ourselves spiritually? How do we do that when we're in a mundane physical body? How do we do that? We must raise our vibrations. This is what I truly believe that we are all here to learn, because that's how you master the physical reality, by knowing that it's truly a spiritual reality and that there is a blending of the two. That as a spiritual being, when you activate your spiritual gifts and abilities, you can really empower yourself in this realm. You can really empower yourself moving through the physical existence, clearing your spiritual energy, clearing depression, clearing spiritual attack, reaching for higher vibrations, feeling connected to your loved ones on the other side, knowing that you're surrounded by angels. And, when something else comes along that's in a lower vibration, that's a dark entity, you'll have the skills to immediately clear them. You don't have to go into fear or experience the nightmares, the sleepless nights, the depressive states, all the fear and anxiety that they bring into your life. You don't have to stay in those low vibrations. You can immediately learn how to get your connection and clear them in the most effective way. Now, I've been teaching this for 30 years, but I lived through it first. I lived through learning this initially in 1995 from a very special healing priest in Bosnia who taught me how to clear negative entities off people. And then my daughter and I lived in a series of haunted houses and just really were immersed in these types of physical hauntings ourselves so that we could clear them, so that we could learn every aspect of them. And I've been working with clients for that long, for over 30 years. So not only have I taught classes, I've taught so many people, I've cleared so many people. One of my agendas, I guess, one of my reasons for being here is that I really want people to know that you have the power. You have the ability to develop these gifts within yourself, to truly become a force in the spiritual sense as your physical, okay? That you can grab these skills and abilities, that you don't have to be affected by hauntings. Even if somebody died in your house, even if there was a violent event that happened in your house, these properties can be cleared. These drama, trauma energies, they can be cleared, they can be restored and bring harmony and balance back for you. So if you have been in a haunted environment, if you bought a house, you thought you got a great deal, and then you found out it was super haunted, and then it was attached to some kind of tragedy, murder, suicide, something that just really stayed in the home as an energetic force that's been haunting you, these properties can be cleared. You can live there in harmony again. You can bring peace and healing to the spirits that experienced such tragedy. And you can bring healing and restore the energy on earth that left. What we see is that there's a spiritual imprint left here in the house, and sometimes the soul is trapped there too. But you learn how to clear that and bring healing to the soul that needs to cross over. That brings healing to the family that's still grieving, and that clears up the space on earth, bringing healing into that environment and freeing that home to actually hold a healthy vibration for a new family. It's powerful work, but I love teaching this. I really love to shift the vibrations on earth. I really love to empower you, to help you bridge the gap from your physical body right here, right now, grabbing onto your spiritual gifts and abilities, developing them, or further developing them, helping you really draw down your own abilities to work within the spiritual realms. Because the reality is, our physical being is surrounded by the spiritual at all times. And I don't say this as wishful thinking. I say this because I literally put myself into the paranormal field to gather research and data for over 25 years. I have voices, I have pictures, I have real scientific proof and evidence that the paranormal is real, that the afterlife exists. And I've learned how to navigate that as a physical human. So if this is something that appeals to you, please sign up for my spiritual warrior training. I know many of you are suffering right now. Many of you are experiencing bad health, depression, worried about money, and you're stuck in the lower frequencies and vibrations. And that is something that is being broadcast, and something that has intentionally harmed humanity by putting people in a state of fear where they're not in power. They're not a powerful force in their own life. So it's something that has been broadcast as a frequency, as a collective energy, and it's time to break free from that. It's time for you to realize that you have been influenced by some energies that you can now clear, that you can now rise above, that you can now live the type of life that you want to live by empowering yourself, knowing these things, and not getting mad at them, just rising above the frequency of them, waking up to a higher potential for yourself. So if these things sound interesting to you, be sure you sign up for my spiritual warrior training. This is actually the only live training that I'm still doing. My next spiritual warrior training is on June 15th. It's a Sunday from 10 to 2. That'll be Pacific Standard Time. So check your own time zone. I'll put the link below this video so you can get more information on it. It's an excellent class. And what I'm offering along with that class is a spiritual clearing and a DNA activation to help activate your spiritual DNA. That will actually help you embrace more of your spiritual potential, more of your spiritual gifts. So be sure you check that out. I'm here for you guys. I've been, teaching this for so long, living it, teaching it, breathing it, helping people all around the world. And I absolutely love these classes. I love to see you claim your own power and have the answers to the spiritual questions that you have. So be sure you do that. And if you have any other questions, you want to check out my other services or hire me for a private session, just go directly to my website at www.dianapalm.com. All right. Thanks, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.